Okay, so are you ready to dive deep with me today?
Always.
All right, awesome. So today we're going to be talking about
Okay.
the Palawan bearded pig.
Oh, cool.
And probably a lot of our listeners probably have never even heard of this animal.
I had not.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about it today, and all we have is this essay
Okay.
to go off of. Um, but I think we can get a lot of information out of it.
Cool.
And yeah, I mean, just the name, Palawan bearded pig.
Yeah.
It sounds like something straight out of like a fantasy novel.
It does.
Like
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings or
Yeah.
something.
Right. Yeah.
So anyways, I think one of the coolest things about it, just from looking at a picture of it,
Yeah.
is just how striking it looks.
Yeah.
Like it really has a beard.
It really does.
It's got like this shaggy coat and like a really slender build.
It's a very fashionable pig.
Yeah, for a pig, it's like very slender.
Yeah.
And when I first saw it, I honestly thought it was like a photoshopped picture of like a wild boar crossed with a mountain man.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
I can see that.
But so the essay that we're looking at it explains that all of these
Yeah.
very unique features
Right.
are actually like perfect adaptations to its environment.
Yeah. And like the coat is good camouflage, right? In those dense forests.
Oh yeah, in the Palawan archipelago.
Yeah, the Palawan archipelago. And then that build, it's like you said, it's perfect for navigating those narrow trails.
Yeah.
And dense undergrowth.
So it's like evolution really knew what it was doing
Yeah.
when it was
Yeah.
making this pig.
Right.
And another thing the essay mentioned is that it's an omnivore.
Oh, wow.
And so
That's interesting.
I thought that was really cool because, you think of pigs, you just think of them like,
Yeah, just like rooting around.
yeah, just rooting around, eating like roots and, whatever.
Yeah.
But this pig actually has like a super diverse diet.
Uh-huh.
They eat fruits, roots,
Wow.
insects,
Wow.
small animals,
That's a lot.
even carrion, which is like a fancy way of saying,
Dead animals.
yeah, dead animals. Yeah. So,
Wow.
So like I'm just imagining in my head like a tiny little ecosystem engineer.
Right.
Like just based on its diet alone, it's like
Yeah.
affecting so many different things.
Uh-huh.
And then the essay went on to say that it's actually a keystone species.
Okay.
And I thought that was really interesting. So I kind of wanted to unpack that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal, right?
Yeah, like what does that actually mean for this
Yeah.
pig?
Well, so, I mean, keystone species, like, it has a disproportionately large impact on its environment.
Yeah.
And, like, for example, with this pig, it's seed dispersal, right? It's not just eating a fruit and pooping out a seed somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's crucial for dispersing seeds of, like, specific trees,
Oh, wow.
like the Palawan mango,
Uh-huh.
and several species of figs.
Okay.
And if you imagine those forests without those trees, like the whole landscape changes, right?
Yeah.
That impacts birds,
Yeah.
insects.
Yeah, it's a chain reaction.
Yeah.
Like if you remove that pig, then
Mhm.
suddenly the whole ecosystem
Yeah.
is different.
Totally different.
And then also
Yeah.
I thought this was interesting. The essay talked about how they root around
Yeah.
in the soil. And that's not just, tilling the soil.
Yeah.
That creates like microhabitats
Right.
for
For
insects.
all kinds of things. Yeah.
Yeah. And it increases water infiltration.
Yeah.
And it even helps with the decomposition
Uh-huh.
of organic matter.
So it really is like an ecosystem engineer.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately,
Uh-oh.
this is kind of where the story takes a turn.
Okay.
As with a lot of species
Yeah.
that are super important, there's some serious conservation challenges.
What are some of the challenges?
Yeah, so the essay talked about how deforestation is like a major threat.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and they're losing their habitats
Yeah.
to agricultural land.
Yeah. So illegal logging.
That's a problem everywhere, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Even like urban expansion.
Yeah.
So it's like,
So it's not just about losing their homes either, right?
it's not just about losing their homes. It's like you're fragmenting the forest.
Right.
So then it's harder for them to like move around and find food and, do all the things that they need to do to keep the ecosystem healthy.
Yeah, and fulfill those roles that we were just talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then like on top of that, you have hunting,
Oh, what?
which is both for food
Uh-huh.
and also because a lot of farmers just see them as pests.
Yeah.
So,
So it's like a double whammy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then like to make matters even worse.
Oh, no.
The essay talked about how there's like a real lack of research
Oh, really?
on the Palawan bearded pig.
Interesting.
And I was curious, like, what do you think is like the biggest issue with that?
Well, I mean, it's like you're trying to put together a puzzle.
Yeah. But you're missing like half the pieces.
Right.
And you don't know how many there are.
Yeah.
You don't know their movement patterns.
Right. You don't know how they're adapting to all
Yeah.
these threats.
Like, are they even adapting?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like without that information, it's like, how are you supposed to design
Right.
a good conservation strategy?
Yeah, it makes it really hard. Yeah.
So it's like we've got habitat loss, we've got hunting pressure,
Yeah.
we've got a lack of information.
It's painting a kind of bleak picture.
It is, yeah, it is. But I'm hoping that the essay has at least a little bit of hope
I hope
for us.
Me too.
So what did you find about that?
Well, there are some ongoing conservation efforts.
Okay, good.
And the essay actually highlighted a couple of them.
Okay.
There's protected areas,
Okay.
like the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park,
Okay, yeah.
that offers some safe havens
Okay, that's good.
for these pigs and for other endemic species.
So like those protected areas, those sound promising.
It do.
But like, what about all the areas that are outside of the park?
Yeah, that's where community involvement, I think, comes in.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like,
yeah, like if we can get the locals involved.
yeah.
I mean, the essay really emphasized that long-term success depends on collaboration with local communities,
Yes.
right? Like educating people
Yeah.
about the pig's importance, its role in the ecosystem, and also exploring alternative livelihoods that reduce the pressure on the forests.
Yeah. So it's all about finding a balance
Exactly.
between the people and the wildlife.
Yeah, conservation is rarely a simple fix.
Yeah.
It takes long-term commitment.
Yeah.
It takes understanding that intricate web of life
Mm.
and finding solutions that work for everyone.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a really fascinating
Yeah.
deep dive. We learned so much about the Palawan bearded pig.
We did.
We talked about its unique looks, its important role in the ecosystem,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, all of the threats that it's facing.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, like, what other incredible species are out there, right?
Yeah.
Hidden away in some corner of the world, facing similar challenges.
Yeah. And what can we do, even, from afar,
Right.
to learn more about them and spread awareness and contribute to their protection?
For sure.
Yeah. That's a great question and a great thought to leave everyone with.
Yeah.
I hope this deep dive has sparked some curiosity.
Me too.
And maybe inspired some of you to learn more about the Palawan bearded pig.
Yeah.
And maybe even some other lesser-known species that are fighting for survival.
Yeah.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.